The greatest explorer in human history documented the Silk Road, the court of Kublai Khan, the wonders of Asia unknown to Europe. His book, Milione, expanded the medieval world's understanding of geography, culture, and possibility. But what if his journey never ended? What if Marco Polo became humanity's first interstellar chronicler? Marco Polo stands on the observation deck of a starship, staring at a nebula that spans his entire field of vision. Colors humans have no names for, scales the medieval mind cannot process. He holds a quill in one hand, parchment in the other. The crew expects him to use the data pad. But Marco Polo has documented the unknown for decades. He knows his tools. He trusts them. He begins writing in careful Latin script. In the year of our Lord, by my count the 26th century, though the crew insists on different dating, I witnessed a celestial phenomenon of such magnificence that even the Khan's palace pales before it. A cloud of stars, each a sun unto itself, forming patterns like spilled wine across silk, but infinite in depth and breadth. The captain approaches, amused and slightly concerned. They are 3 months into a 5-year mission to document newly discovered star systems. Marco Polo was chosen not for his non-existent technical skills, but for his unparalleled ability to observe, record, and convey the essence of foreign places to those who have never seen them. His medieval perspective, they theorized, might notice things modern eyes overlook. He sketches the nebula with ink. The drawing is technically inaccurate. He has no concept of plasma physics or ionization, but it captures something the cameras miss. The sense of it, the feeling of standing before something vast and ancient and utterly beyond human comprehension. His description reads like mythology, which is perhaps appropriate. To him, this is mythology. Gods could live in such places. Navigation presents challenges. The ship's AI handles actual course plotting, but Marco Polo insists on understanding the routes. The crew shows him star charts. He nods, then produces his own map on parchment, drawing constellations and noting landmarks. A particularly bright star becomes his North Star. A distinctive nebula formation marks a port. The binary system ahead is twin lighthouses. His medieval cartography makes no mathematical sense, but proves surprisingly useful. When explaining routes to visiting delegations from other ships, his descriptions, follow the red giant until you see the spiral galaxy rising to your right, then turn toward the cluster that resembles a dragon, are more memorable than coordinates. Humans, he understands, navigate by stories and images, not numbers. The first contact occurs 3 months into the journey. An alien vessel, peaceful but curious. The aliens are insectoid, roughly human-sized, with compound eyes and clicking mandibles. The universal translator handles language, but communication requires more than words. It requires understanding context, intention, nuance. Marco Polo excels at this. He spent years in Kublai Khan's court, learning to read the subtle signs of Mongol diplomacy. Different species, same principles. He watches how the aliens position themselves relative to each other. He notes which individuals speak first. He observes what they focus on during the tour of the ship. When the captain struggles to explain human culture, Marco Polo intervenes. He produces his compass, an actual medieval compass, brass and glass, somehow still functional. He demonstrates its use. The aliens are fascinated, not by the technology, which is primitive to them, but by the concept. Humans once navigated by magnetism, by feeling the planet's pull. There is something profound in that. He gifts the compass to their leader. The alien handles it carefully, clicking thoughtfully. Through the translator, gratitude and respect. The aliens offer something in return. small device that projects holographic representations of their star charts. Marco Polo accepts with a deep bow, the gesture transcending species. The exchange establishes goodwill. The aliens share information about local space hazards. Marco Polo documents their culture in his journal. They arrange themselves in circles when discussing matters of importance, with the eldest at the center. They touch antennae in greeting, the duration indicating the depth of respect. Their speech is rapid, like summer insects, and they favor logical argument over emotional appeal. They are traders, like the Venetians, and respect fair dealing above all. His descriptions are anthropological gold. Modern xenologists would use clinical terminology, categorizing behavior by theoretical frameworks. Marco Polo simply describes what he sees, drawing parallels to human cultures he knows. The aliens are like Mongols in this way, like Venetians in that way, like Chinese merchants in another. The comparisons are imperfect, but illuminating. The ship encounters a gas giant, vast beyond comprehension. Marco Polo stares at it for an hour before writing. I have seen mountains that pierce clouds. I have crossed deserts that stretch to horizons without end. But this is a world that could swallow Earth entire and not notice. Its storms are larger than continents. Colors swirl in patterns that hypnotize the eye. It is Jupiter, they tell me, but 1,000 times larger. I call it the celestial Leviathan. For surely only a beast of myth could be so vast. He sketches it, noting the storm patterns, the color bands, the tiny moons orbiting like servants around an emperor. His drawing is fantastical, almost medieval in its artistic liberties, but it conveys scale and awe in ways that precise photographs do not. The science team actually requests copies for educational materials. Sometimes, they admit, wonder matters more than accuracy. A black hole appears on their route. Not close enough to be dangerous, but close enough to observe. The crew explains gravitational lensing, event horizons, space-time curvature. Marco Polo listens politely, but understands perhaps 1/10 of the physics. He writes what he experiences instead. We approached a wound in the heavens, a place where stars bend and light itself is imprisoned. The navigators call it a collapsed star, but I know a cosmic whirlpool when I see one. Ships that venture too near are pulled into depths from which nothing returns, not even the rays of the sun. The crew treats it with the respect sailors grant to storms. Necessary caution, but also awe. We passed it safely, but I felt its pull, even across the vast distance. The universe, I learn, has places even light fears to tread. His description is scientifically questionable, but experientially accurate. The psychological effect of viewing a black hole, the visceral sense of wrongness, of nature violating its own rules, comes through clearly. Modern scientists describe the physics. Marco Polo describes the feeling. Both are valid forms of documentation. They discover a planet with life. Not intelligent life, but complex ecosystems, forests of crystalline structures that photosynthesize in ways Earth plants do not. Creatures that float through the atmosphere, rippling like jellyfish through air. The landing party includes Marco Polo, ostensibly to document, but really because his reaction is as valuable as the data itself. He walks through the alien forest, touching nothing but observing everything. His journal fills with sketches and descriptions. The trees, if trees they be, grow in spiral patterns, their branches refracting light into rainbows. The soil is purple and smells of minerals I cannot name. Creatures drift above, translucent and ethereal, making sounds like distant bells. The air is thin but breathable. The sun, when visible through the canopy, is orange rather than yellow. Everything is familiar yet alien, like a fever dream of Earth's forests, but painted in a madman's palette. The xenobiologists read his entries and gain insights they missed in their technical observations. He noted that the crystalline trees always spiral in the same direction, a detail suggesting planetary-scale magnetic field influences. He described the floating creatures as avoiding the purple soil, indicating possible toxicity to their biology. His medieval naturalist approach, observing and describing without preconceptions, catches patterns modern specialized training sometimes overlooks. The journey continues. More systems, more phenomena, more first contacts. Marco Polo documents it all. His journals grow into volumes. Milione, his original travel book, described one world. This new chronicle describes hundreds. The crew begins calling it Il Infinito, the infinite. He develops a routine. Each morning, ship time, he reviews the previous day's recordings, then writes his observations. Each evening, he sketches. The drawings fill volumes. Nebulae, aliens, planets, ships, phenomena. They are artistic rather than photographic, but they tell stories photographs cannot. A nebula isn't just gas and dust. It's the birthplace of stars. A gas giant isn't just a planet. It's a world unto itself. An alien isn't just a different species. It's another way of being conscious. The ship encounters more civilizations. Some are suspicious, some welcoming, some indifferent. Marco Polo documents them all. The beings of the crystal world communicate through light patterns, their bodies shifting colors like living stained glass. They have no concept of verbal speech, and the translator struggles. But I understand enough. Light for agreement, darkness for negation, patterns for complex ideas. They are artists, every one. Their city sculptures in glass and light. They offer us a prism that splits light into more colors than human eyes can see. I accept it for humanity, though I confess I cannot perceive half its beauty. His entries become required reading for diplomatic corps. His observations on alien body language, social structures, and values prove more useful than anthropological frameworks. He thinks like an explorer and trader, not a scientist. He wants to understand these beings, not to categorize them, but to interact with them, to trade not just goods but ideas and experiences. 5 years pass. The ship returns to human space. Marco Polo has filled 30 volumes with observations, sketches, and reflections. The crew has terabytes of sensor data. When analysts compare the two datasets, they find Marco Polo's journals are often cited more frequently. The data is precise. The journals are meaningful. He is offered more missions. Humanity's expansion to the stars is accelerating. More explorers are needed, more documentarians. But Marco Polo declines. He is old, even with life extension treatments. He has seen more than most humans will in 10 lifetimes. It is time to rest, to compile, to write the definitive edition of Il Infinito that future generations will read. He settles on a colony world, one of the early terraformed planets, and writes. The book takes years. It is part travelogue, part anthropology, part philosophy, part art. He includes his sketches, his observations, his reflections on what it means to be human in a universe full of other minds, other ways of being. The book becomes foundational text for interstellar explorers, not for its technical accuracy. There are better sources for that, but for its perspective, for its reminder that exploration is not just about data collection, but about wonder, about connection, about expanding not just humanity's territory, but its understanding. Marco Polo dies peacefully, surrounded by his journals. His last words, recorded by a caretaker, are simple. I have seen wonders beyond counting. I have met minds stranger and wiser than my own. I have walked on worlds no human imagined, and I have learned this. The universe is not just vast. It is interesting. There is more to explore than humanity could accomplish in 1,000,000 years. And that thought brings me great joy. His legacy endures. Future explorers read Il Infinito before their first missions. Diplomats study his observations on alien cultures. Artists draw inspiration from his sketches. Children learn of the medieval explorer who traveled farther than anyone before or since. armed with nothing but curiosity, a quill, and an open mind. Because Marco Polo understood something essential. Exploration is not about conquering or claiming. It is about witnessing, about understanding, about bringing back not just resources or data, but stories. And in a universe full of wonders, stories matter most of all.